basic command line utilities, the tools which are supported by the Unix or Linux operating system. In order to understand how the Unix works or how the Linux works, and in order to understand this operating system, it is better to see how these commands behave in the shell. We'll see a few basic Linux command. They are also called as command utilities. Are the tools available? The different types of tools available. Okay, a few tools which are used for processing file. There are tools which are available for processing text. And there are many tools, like few of them, which are used for program editing, program development, and there are few tools available for communication, network communication. And you can have your own tools, which are developed by ourselves. A few examples of processing files could be like WC, cat, those kind of commands come under example of processing files. You can process text with the help of grep, okay, those kind of commands. For editing programs, we may use VI editor, okay, SCDs, other examples. For program development, we can use Makefile, M4, and for communication, we may use mail, etc. So these are the different kinds of tools available in the Unix operating or Linux operating system, and we can create our own in the form of shell scripts, or we can write a program which is executable and put them in bin and start executing as a command. So on the whole, all these commands are of two types. They might be an internal command or it can be an external command. As I have told you in the earlier session, that these commands have been classified into two categories. One is which differs across the Linux distribution, and another which differs across the shells. Right? It means that there are few commands which are executed by the shell itself. For example, CD, okay, present working directory, PWD. These are the commands which are executed by the shell itself. They are called internal commands, which are internal to the shell, which shell can execute. It doesn't executed by the kernel. But there are many commands which are executed by the kernel as well. For example, if I want to list out what are the files available in a directory, ls command, etc., which are used for which are actually executed by the kernel, but shell will interpret this. It will check the syntax and semantics of this command. If it is correct, it will give it to the kernel. So here commands, there are two types of commands. One command which is executed by the kernel itself, and one command which is executed by the kernel. One is executed by the shell and another is executed by the kernel. Now the beauty of this operating system is whenever you want to log in, okay, it will ask username and password. Okay, it means that any strange user cannot log into the system. This is for security reasons, that you need to first give your username and followed by the password. What happens when you give a username? The Linux operating system, generally I'll tell operating system, please you understand it means any Unix flavor. This operating system, what does it do is it will check this username against the entry which is made in a shadow file. Okay, for every user it will make an entry in a password shadow file, okay, that contains the name of the user, group ID of the user ID, okay, and encrypted password, okay, username, okay, and some comments if required, remarks, right. There are many fields available in that shadow file. So the operating system will look against that username and the name which is there in the shadow file, whether it is matching or not. Okay, if it is matching, then it will ask you for the password. If password also matches, password will not be saved as a plain text. Okay, this file we can see, shadow file we can see, but when we see the password will be in an encrypted format. Okay, it means that whatever we see, if we give as an input password here, that doesn't works. Okay, so your operating system will check the username against the password. If it is matching, then it will allow you to log into the system. So now let's give the username. We have already created a username by name KMIT and password also KMIT. Okay, I am giving password. Okay, let me give for example wrong password. Okay, I'll give some wrong password. Okay, then it is asking me for password again. So the comment, the error message which has been displayed here, okay, you might be seeing incorrect username or password. Letters must be typed in the correct case. So here I know the problem is it's not with the case, but I have wantedly given inappropriate password. Now I'll give KMIT with appropriate password. Okay. Now it has checked it and validated me that yes, I am the correct user, and allowed me to log into the system. Now this is a GUI version of the operating system, of Linux operating system. Here we see the desktop which acts as a command interpreter, and we can also open a terminal to interpret our commands. How do we open a terminal for interpreting a commands? For that we need to generally those operating systems in which GUI is not there, directly you will get the shell, directly you will get the command interpreter. Here desktop is acting as a command interpreter. We need not remember any command, just click, the command will be executed automatically. Now I will click on applications, go to accessories and terminal. This is a terminal I am using to demonstrate the different types of commands available. Now whenever a user log in and the operating system found that the user is correct, then it will create an account that's called, every user will be given a specific memory called its account. Okay, and automatically the user will be kept into its home directory. Okay. Now now I want to know where I'm actually placed. Okay. So in order to see that where I'm actually placed, for that we have a command to check what is the current directory. Okay. Now the command which is used to find out in which current directory I'm working is pwd, present working directory or current working directory. Okay. Now see here, home is the directory where all the users, every user will have their home directory. In home directory, what is my home directory? Home/KMIT is the home directory for me. So KMIT is the actually here home directory is same as my username. So it tells me what is the present working directory, and I can find out like few basic commands. What is date? It tells me the date, Saturday, August 6, and time. Now I can execute two commands simultaneously, but which are separated by a semicolon as well. For example, pwd semicolon date. This is also possible to execute. Now like this I can execute a number of commands one after the other just by separating them with semicolon. This shell has special capability to find out that if there are any spaces, unnecessary spaces which you have given, it will eat away. For example, if I have given pwd and date and again pwd, okay, so it will remove those spaces which are unnecessary and executes the command. So there are three commands executed. One is which tells you the present working directory, and another gives you the name, and third gives you again the home directory. Now there are many commands which are which doesn't takes parameters, and there are many commands which takes parameter and few commands which doesn't takes any parameter. Parameter is nothing but it's an argument to a command. This generally gives more information to the command that how you want the information to be presented. Okay. Now let us see a few of the examples. Like if I'm here, my present working directory is /home/kmit. Please remember what is slash here. Slash is nothing but the root here. This is the root. Okay. And home is the directory inside this root. Okay. And kmit is another directory inside it. Okay. And here we are in. Okay. It means if I create any files, it will be created neither in home nor in root, but it will be created in this directory kmit. Right. Now I can move from one directory to another directory as well with the help of commands, and I can create files in this directory or any other directory with the help of commands, and I can list what are the different files and directories available in this directory and this directory, in any directory. We can find it very easily. Now we will see what are the different files and directories are available in our current working directory. ls is a command which tells you, it lists all the directories, files and directories which are available. Now here it has displayed that desktop, documents, examples.desktop, all these are for example, are all the directories which are available. Okay, files and directories are available. But here, just by seeing color, we cannot say that what it is. In order to get the long list information, okay, we need to give some more information to the command, that or you request to the command that I want some more information, and that request can be given in the form of arguments, right? For example, pwd is a command which doesn't take any argument, but whereas ls is a command which takes an argument. What are the different types of arguments are given? Suppose we don't remember, then there is one command called man, 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 which is used for it's like a help to check the help about any command. For example, you can write, if I want to know what man does, then I can find out man. It gives me help about itself, what man commands generally do. So man is an interface to online reference manuals. So wherever you want to know a syntax of any command, in fact this man has lot of different sections, nearly 6 or 8 sections are available. One is used for user section, and another is for kernel and library functions, so on. There are many sections the manual has been divided into. So now you see here, man is a system's manual pager. Each page argument given to a man is normally the name of a program. As I have told you, every command is actually a program or utility, or it's a function. So the man page, the man command, it gives about name of the command, what is its synopsis is, and it gives description about every command. Okay, these are the 3 headers which are used, which will be displayed for every command which you would like to see. Right. So then, how to go out of this command? Just press Q. Okay, it will quit from that execution of that command, and I'll just type man ls. It gives me help about ls. It is used for listing directory contents, and remember, files in Unix or in Unix operating system. Unix operating system treats every file or every device as a file itself. Okay. Directory is also a file in Unix operating system, but they are special files actually. There are different types of files, but everything in Unix will look it as a file. Now I have different options available in the description column. You might be seeing here. We have option A. Okay, it do not ignore the entries starting with. Okay. Okay, all hidden files also you can display, and you have long listing L. BC. There are many different options available. Now let's use option like ls option L. Okay, it gives me long listing. Now you might be observing that while displaying this in contents in the directory, okay, it is showing you what is this file name, or what is this file name, and at what time it has been created, and size and different permissions given. We'll talk about permissions at in other subsequent sessions, and in which directory it is, who is the owner. All this information is available here. When you see, do you see here that desktop, documents, music, pictures, public, templates and videos here, they are having first bit as D. It means it stands for directory, and where here I don't find anything. It means it's a normal file actually. So I can create this either directory types of files, or I can create normal files as well. Now how do you create a file in Unix or in Linux? In Linux we can create, there are different ways of creating a file. You can create a file using the editor, you can create a file using touch command, using cat command. There are many different techniques for creating a file, but let us see cat command, which is used for creating a file. Okay. Now cat, before we see, let's talk about cat is also used for seeing the contents of a file. So when I see the help for cat command, it's telling that it's concatenating files and print onto the standard output. Okay. So there are different options available for this cat, but the syntax which is used for cat command is, we'll understand it afterwards, because we have to deal with redirection or input redirection, output redirection. Then we'll understand. At that time we'll discuss in detail about redirections. Now here you just assume that cat, generally it is and the file name which I want to create is, for example, file1 for example. Okay. So this is the syntax I am following. The meaning we'll understand later. Just now we'll understand how to create a file, simple file. Now when I hit enter, whatever I am going on entering, that will be recorded as a contents of a file. Okay. So now here I will start typing the contents of a file. This is the first file created, and we create, go on creating the files. This will not stop you. Okay. So you go on typing, it gives you, whenever you hit enter, it gives you again scope for adding another file. Now here I want to stop. Then for stopping I'll just press Ctrl C. Now earlier when we do ls option L, it has shown different types of directories and one ordinary file available. Now when I do the same, when I execute the same command, now this time it should show me file1. Okay. Now we have seen that file1 has been created. Okay, and this bit is it's a normal, it's a text file, and we have different permissions on it, and it gives you the number of the size of the file, okay, and what time we have created. So we have created a file. Now if I want to see the contents of this file, then I can use the same command cat without using output input redirection operator. Just mention file name. Okay, so it gives me the contents of a file. The problem of cat command is, whenever we go to next line, we cannot suppose I'm I have completed line 1, line 2, line 3, and I am typing line 4. Suddenly I want to modify some contents in line 2, then I can't go back. That is a problem with cat command. So in order to overcome that, we have different editors available like VI, Emacs, okay, the different types of editors using which we can do all these modifications at the time of creating a file. Now similarly we can see this examples.desktop as well. Okay, it gives you what is the contents of that file as well. So in Linux there is no difference between directory and file, except directory is some a special file whose bit is set to 1, okay, that D bit is, but whereas an text file is something that bit is not set. Now let us see how to create directories. Okay, for creating a directory, let us first draw a picture and assume that I want to create two directories in present working directory. One directory I want to create is called program, and another directory I want to create notes, for example. In program, again I want to create one more directory for C and for Java, and here I want to create notes on C and Java, right? Now here I want to see, here I would like to create some 4 files, and here I want to create some 3 files, and here I want to create 2 files, here I want to create 6 files, for example. Okay, all of them are in KMIT user. KMIT is again there in home is there in root. Okay, this is the file structure. Now my presently we are at KMIT. Now we have to create program and notes. For creating a directory, we have a command called mkdir. Okay, it creates a directory followed by the directory name, which is program. It creates this directory. Similarly, we can create notes as well. Let us see how to create that. If I want to clear the screen, okay, like in DOS we'll use CLS, but CLS doesn't work here. Okay, here we have to write clear, CLEAR. Okay, it clears the terminal screen. Now we know that we are at our current working directory is KMIT, and I want to create a directory using mkdir. Okay, it is used for making directories. We have different options, and you can give I think multiple directories simultaneously. Let's check whether it's working or not. mkdir, I want what? I want program and also notes. I'm trying to create 2 directories simultaneously. Now the problem is generally your shell doesn't gives you any warnings or any errors. Okay, this is very dangerous, meaning whenever you have committed, you have logged that you want to execute this command, you just logged. Okay, or there is one option given called verbose mode, which tells you about what has happened. See here, when I executed this command, it doesn't given me any information that the command is executed successfully or not. Okay, what should I believe, whether it has executed or not? I don't know. So in order to verify, let us check again. Okay, is the two files, 2 directories have been created or not? Yeah. So notes have been created. You might have observed here, and also program has been created. Okay. So we can use mkdir for creating multiple directories simultaneously. You need not execute mkdir 2 times. Okay. Now the problem is, how can I create another directory called C and Java inside program? For that I should know how to go to that directory. I should know how to move from my present working directory is this. I'm standing here. But I want to, being standing here, I can create directories or files in the current working directory. But being here, how can I create? How can I create directories here. There are two options. Either you have to specify the path, okay, we'll deal it later. One thing is, or you make your present working directory as slash or root home KMIT program, or either it means you are standing here, and when you stand here it's very easy to create these two files again, two directories again, C and Java. Now again, in order to create these files again, you have to change your current working directory to one extra like C and start creating a file. So we need to know how to move from one directory to another directory. For moving from one directory to another directory, we'll use a door. Okay, that door is called CD. When I use CD space, okay, name of the directory, then it moves, or here you can give either absolute path or relative path. Now there are two types of paths available, absolute path and relative path. Relative path means I will not specify where all the path up to the current working directory, I will just specify this path. Whenever you see any path which is starting from root with slash, then it is always an absolute path. So let's create, make our current working directory as home, KMIT and program. There we'll create these two directories now. CD space, name of this is program. Okay. Now my present working directory has been changed. Now I'll make C and Java. See here. There are two files available, two directories available. One is C and another is Java. Remember, whenever you create any directory, by default the operating system will create two more files. One is dot and another is dot dot. You might be seeing this. One is dot and another is dot dot. What is the significance of dot and dot dot file? Generally dot dot refers to the parent file. Dot dot refers to the parent directory, and dot represents the current directory. These are actually two hidden files. Whenever you create any directory, okay, like paired, it doesn't mean that after creating this C and Java directory we have got these two hidden files. It is not like that. Actually, whenever you create any directory, by default operating system will create these two hidden files. One is actually a link to parent, and another is the present working directory. Dot means present working directory, current directory, and dot dot means parent directory. It means that ls option A is used for seeing hidden files. They can be used for seeing hidden files. Now my present working directory is home, KMIT and program, but I want to make my present working directory as home, KMIT and program. So for that I have to go to the parent directory. So how can I go to the parent directory? CD space dot dot. Remember, space is must here. If you don't give space, I think it gives you here it is shell. The name of this shell is born again shell, bash shell, is giving you an error that command not found. Of course CD is a command, but syntax is not correct. For that I have to do CD space dot dot. So it goes to the parent. Now when I check pwd, I'm in my parent directory or not? Yes. Now let's go further. Now I want to move to another directory called notes. Now I made my present working directory as notes. Now here I have not created any file. ls is giving me nothing. When I write ls option A, it gives me two hidden files. Look, dot and dot dot. Okay. So here I can create again two more directories, mkdir, C and Java. When I do ls option, okay, it gives me hidden files and also all the files with long listing. So actually you see here, C is current directory and parent directory. They are not files, they are directories. Okay. Now, what do is we have to create files now inside nodes. So I have to make my current working directory as home KMIT nodes C. For that, in nodes I have to go into C, and here I have to create how many files? 1, 2, 3, 4 files I have to create. Now, in order to create 4 files, now we know that just now we have seen how to create a file using cat and input redirection, output redirection, input redirection symbol with name of the file. But that is used for creating a file, and you want to give input from the keyboard. And suppose if I want to create multiple files simultaneously, cat command doesn't work. Okay, we have another command called touch. Let's see. Now the specialty of touch is it creates multiple files with size 0, and it also changes the file timestamp. It is used much by the administrators also for changing the timestamp. Let's not talk about that now. Let's create file touch touch. Okay, I want to create file 1, file 2, file 3, or it's a C file, right? C file 1, C file 2, C file 3, C file 4. So simultaneously we have created how many files? 4 files. When you long list them, okay, you will observe that all size of the files is 0. So it means touch command is used for creating files, okay, with size 0. Now I will do now again, for example, this C1 file is already existing. What do I do is I will write just touch touch C1. Okay, again I do ls option L. Okay, you might have seen that same contents are there, but do you see all these file timestamps when it was created was 541, but I have changed the timestamp of this. So it is also used for changing the timestamp of a file. But now check, for example, suppose I have a file cat C1. Okay, in this I am just typing some nonsense. Okay, and now what do I do is I'll again use touch command for C1. Let us see, we know that this C1, what is the size of this C1? It's 20. If I use touch command, is it along with changing the timestamp, is it changing the contents and making this contents to be 0 or not? We will check now. Okay, so what I will do is I will make touch C1. Okay, ls option L. Okay, now this is the beauty of this command. You see, still the file is existing, but timestamp has been changed. That's what the importance of this command to show that this file has been modified. Okay, now I want to go back to my home directory again. Now there are 2 ways we can do that. One is, now presently my current working directory is C. If I write cd space dot dot, I'll move here, or if I use cd space dot dot slash dot dot, I'll go here. But assume that if you are many levels deep and you want to come back to the home directory, then with simple command you can go. Just you type cd enter. When you just type cd enter, then what happens? Directly your shell will keep you into your home directory. So we'll use that command cd. Yeah, that's what. Irrespective of how deep you are, by default it will keep you in home directory. Now we can go to a root directory also, cd root. Now you see Present working directory is root. In root, we can list all the files which are available. While discussing the file structure, we'll talk about what do you mean by bin, dev, etc, temp, usr, all these are there. We'll discuss in detail. So now again, I don't know how to go back to my current working directory. Whenever you want to move back to your current working directory, just type cd and hit enter. Okay, you will be placed into your current working directory. Okay. This is how we'll use cd command for. Okay, I hope by this time you have understood how to create files and how to see them, and how to create multiple files in a single shot, multiple directories in a single shot, and how to move from one directory to another directory. Okay. For moving one directory to another directory, we will use cd command followed by absolute or relative path. We can even go to root and see and list the contents and all. Now, one of the important things which we should understand is how can we, being here, for example, being here, I want to see the contents what are there here or here in any other files. Okay, is it possible, or I have to make my present working directory to that directory and see the contents of it? For that, let us see. I'll just draw the picture here for our understanding purpose. See, we have root, home, KMIT. In this we have created programs, notes. In programs we have created C, Java. Here also we have created C, Java. And in C we have created C1, C2, C3, C4. Okay. Now I want to create here J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, J6. All 6 files I want to create in that file. How can I do that now? Can I write like this? Touch, or I'll go to first CD, notes, or I can do it like this, CD, Java. Now present working directory is home, KMIT, notes, Java, and here I am creating touch, J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, J6. Okay. Now my present working directory is this. Now, being here, I want to see what are the contents of files in this directory. Is it possible? One way is make our current directory this and see the file ls option L. Another is we can either use a relative path or we can use absolute path. Now in this case, whenever you are deeper, you cannot use a relative path. You have to use absolute path right from root and tell where you want to look for actually. Now assume that being here, if I want to find out what are the entries are available here, then I may use a relative path here, because something which I want to look for is below in level in this hierarchy. So I can this path is overlapping, right? So I can use, when I use relative path, this path will be hidden, and directly I can start giving from program C ls. Okay, so here if assume that if my present working directory is this. Okay, being here, if I want to look, or being here, if I want to look what are the contents in this file, because it is below the hierarchy, then I can use very easily ls option L. Okay, where I want to check the path I have to give, which is program and C. Now being here, can I check it? It is not possible for me to check because I'm below in the hierarchy. So we'll use absolute name, absolute path name. Okay. Using absolute path name, we can find out what it is. Okay, so I want to find out ls option L, where if I have written the backslash C, it is listing me all the files and directories which are there in root. Okay, but I'm not interested in root, but I want to check what is there in root, home, KMIT, program, slash C. Okay. Here we have, I think where we have created in programs. Yeah. So I'll write PROG. Yeah. So I want to look whether it's there in C or not. Okay, it's C, it's not there. In Java, is it there? In Java also it is not there. I think we are looking in wrong file. So here we have. So let's. Okay. So let's go to. I think in notes we have created notes. Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, we have created these files not in C. Actually, we have created them in notes. Here we have created. Okay. I thought we have created here. Okay. So being here, if I want to see, okay, what are the contents in this file? So I'll give this absolute name and find out. So let's do that. ls option. Okay. Okay, we'll understand. So we'll remember this path, that home, KMIT, nodes, and C. Here we have all this, list of files. So I'll go to CD, program, CD, Java. Okay. So here I am having these many files. From here, if I want to see what the different files and directories are available in this path, where this path. Yeah. So it is displaying all the list and files. So thanks to this, absolute path. So absolute path is used. So generally for websites and all, we'll not use absolute path because we may change the root directory. So using relative path is better. But here in case we have the power of using absolute path. The power is, even though if we are below in the hierarchy, we can see all the files which are available in the upper hierarchy as well. There are other commands like who, which tells you who are you. How many users are currently logged into the network, logged onto the system, and among them, if you want to find out who are you, then you have to write a command, who am I. Okay. These are also the commands which doesn't take any arguments. So today we have seen few of the basic commands, okay, like for how do we create a file and how to make a directory and how to move from one directory to another directory, when to use absolute path and when to use relative paths. Okay, so this discussion will be continued in next session. We'll stop here.